All right, hey Big Tree Elementary, this is Mr. Zinski. I'm here with Mr. Scudder and Mr. Valente, and we are going to go over our Wednesday live throwing, catching, hitting video with you guys. This is all stuff you can do at home, either outside or inside, preferably outside if you can, after you watch the video with your brother, with some friends, with your mom and dad. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to review our throwing form. When we throw, I'm a right-handed thrower. I'm going to throw with my right, I'm going to step with my left foot. So I'm stepping with my left, throwing with my right. And I'm extending towards my target and letting my object go. I'm using a soft cush ball made out of yarn. I'm going to be throwing it at our targets we have set up on the table back here. Mr. Scudder is filming right now. I hope I don't hit him with the ball, but I'm going to do my best to knock over one of those targets using this cush ball as I throw. I got three. Let's go in and set those other two back up. Other balls you might use during this activity. I have a wiffle ball. This is something I would use in the garage or outside. I would not use this in my house, but in the garage or outside. Again, step with my left, throw with my right. 2 for 2. I have a foam Nerf ball. These could probably be okay in the house. Same thing, step, throw, 3 for 3. I'm stepping with the left, I'm throwing with the right. First miss of the day, that's okay too. I also have a soft softball. It's not a hard one. You can see I can squish it. It's soft, and you can use that as well. Step and throw a little bit high. I have the orange cush ball for trying to jump. Perfect. And I have a tennis ball, which would probably be better in the garage or outside. Maybe in the house if you're just playing the catching part. But for the throwing, maybe just we'll stick with this one on the outside. Hopefully you get the last target. There we go. And that's what we're going to be doing.
Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to do the same thing as Mr. Zinski, but I'm going to do a little modification for him. I'm not as good as Mr. Mazinski. He played college baseball, but I have not. I'm going to try it underhand first. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing. You're going to step with your opposite foot, the foot that you're not throwing with, and you're going to aim right toward the target, and you're going to let go right when you get your hand to the target. All right, let me try one more. All right, I hit one. If you're still having trouble hitting them, you can move a few feet closer. So just take a couple steps closer. And this one I'll try overhand. Oh, having trouble. All right, take a step closer. All right, so I hit it. So now, because I hit it, I can take a step backwards and try to challenge myself.
Part of baseball and softball is defense. When we play defense, there's either going to be a ball that is hit towards us in the air or on the ground. And when the ball's on the ground, it's called a ground ball. And how to field a ground ball is this. You want to field the ground ball between your legs. You want your glove. We're not going to use gloves today, but we're going to put a hand. We're going to put a hand out in front of us, and we're going to make an alligator jaw and collapse our top hand on our bottom hand like an alligator. Arr, arr. My knees are bent. I want that ball out in front of me. So to practice this, you have a ball, a nice soft ball. If you're by yourself, you could use a wall and a ball. And what you're gonna do is roll the ball off the wall and practice that alligator. Arr, eat that ball up like an alligator. Now, if you want to get a little fancy, roll the ball off to the side. Notice what I did with my legs. I do a shuffle step, or like a gallop step. I gallop to the side, I gallop this way. Every single time I eat that ball like with my alligator hands, I want that ball out in front of me, all right? So I can roll over here, alligator. Roll the ball over here, shuffle step, and alligator. Now, if you're lucky and you have a partner, I've got Mr. Zinski. What I'm gonna do with my partner is I'm gonna roll a ball to him and he'll roll it back to me. Right, Mr. Zinski? I'm ready. I roll it to him like I'm bowling. And he's going to eat that ball with his alligator hands. I toss it over here. Notice he needed to shuffle step a little bit. That's perfectly fine. We're working nicely together. Look that ball in. Now to ramp it up a little bit, I have to look. I'm gonna make Mr. Zinski move a little bit. He's gonna make me move. I'm gonna point, I'm gonna tell him, I'm rolling it this way. So he'll gallop step that way, feel the ball. He's going to point, and every single time we roll the ball to each other, we're just going side to side. And now we're getting a cardiovascular workout. After a while, it's a nice little workout, and we're fielding ground balls. That's how it's done.
Okay, boys and girls, now we're going to work on fly balls. So we're going to take the ball in our hand, we're going to throw it up in the air underhand, and we're going to track it. And we're going to track it, and we're going to catch it with 2 hands. All right? So take it, bend your knees a little bit, put the ball in front of you, all the way as high as you can. Maybe you want to be outside for this, or in a place where, in a room where it's high ceilings. Just throw it up and catch it. If you want to challenge yourself, you can throw it higher. You can try and clap. You can touch your knees. Try and be creative. You can try and throw it up, do a push up, and then try and catch it.
All right, guys, Mr. Valente just talked to you about catching with 2 hands. I'm going to talk to you about catching with 1 hand. If you've mastered the 2-hand catch and you're like, I'm way better than that, I don't need 2 hands, I only need 1 hand when I catch, then what you're going to do is you're going to toss it up and get underneath it, and we're going to try and catch with 1 hand, all right? Either hand, left, right, you can switch it up and go both ways. If you're not that comfortable yet, 1 or 2-handed, like you're just learning, you're a beginner, which is totally fine, we all started somewhere. If you're just a beginner, you can even do a shorter toss and get used to catching it from right there, and then eventually you can go higher and make it harder for yourself. But the 1-handed catch is harder than 2, and we're gonna try right and left, both hands. And then if you really wanna get specific, like you're playing a game of baseball or softball, after you catch it, get into that throwing motion. Get your opposite foot forward and be ready to throw that ball. All right, Mr. Scudder's filming right now, but I'm gonna toss one to him. So if it's a game of softball or baseball and I catch that fly ball, I immediately turn, step, and I throw towards my target.
My most favorite thing about baseball when I was playing is hitting. Now, we're gonna hit, but not with a baseball bat in our hands. We're gonna use our eyes and our hands to hit. You can choose your left hand or your right hand. We're gonna practice both hands. With this, if you have a friend to help pitch, that's going to help. We're gonna show you first with the pitcher and then next without a pitcher. I'll show you that in a second. But if you have a pitcher, you're gonna be in the house. If you're gonna practice this in the house, take a piece of paper, make a baseball with a piece of paper, because we don't wanna knock over the television, the lamps, we don't wanna break a window. Don't use a piece of paper with a rock in it either. Just use paper. Your hands and your eyes will be working together. This is a hand-eye coordination. I'm a baseball player. I can pretend I got my hand on my back, but you're gonna see my right hand hit the ball here. I see the ball, I use my eyes will tell my brain where to move my hand, okay? I'm just going to swat that ball. After a few hits with my right, now I wanna practice with my left. My left hand is here, and I see the ball, and I'm going to practice just making contact with the object.
Mr. Scudder, what if you're a left-handed batter?
Ooh, I'm gonna try standing, so with a right-handed batter, my left hip, this feels comfortable. If I'm holding a baseball bat and there's a catcher behind me, this feels comfortable. I'm a righty. But if I'm a left-handed batter, my left hand is on the top, my right hand is on the bottom. Left hand makes an L when I look at my hand. Right hand doesn't make an L. Left hand makes an L. So if I'm a left-handed batter, same thing. I'm going to hit this hand and put it into play. Now, what if you're by yourself, Mr. Scudder, Mr. Zinski, Mr. Valente? I'm by myself. Well, I'll show you what you're going to do. You're going to pretend. You're going to toss that ball up, and you're going to hit all by yourself. Hit about 3 or 4 or 5, and then you're going to practice the other hand. Oh, I got to hit with this hand. I haven't practiced this one yet. And you're just going to hit it out into space. Make sure if you're indoors, use paper or use a sock or a safe spot. Don't knock over mom's lamp. Don't knock over grandma's art that she gave you, like the porcelain china stuff. Make sure you're in a safe spot. If you could get outside, that's ideal. But there you go, hitting. The most fun part, I think, of baseball and softball.
We've talked about throwing, we've talked about batting, we've talked about catching. We're going to combine two of those skills now. We're going to combine the throwing and the catching part. So if you have a partner, dad, mom, brother, sister, neighbor, whoever you might be able to hang out with that you're allowed to, we're going to practice the throwing and catching. Once again, I'm going to step with my opposite foot. I'm going to throw overhand to Mr. Valente, and he's going to work on that catching skill that we talked about. He's going to do the same. Notice as soon as we catch it, we turn our bodies, step towards our target, and throw that ball. We're not standing like this, facing forward, throwing it with no step. All right, we're going to step and throw towards our target. We can throw it high in the air for some fly balls. We can practice the grounders with our partner if we want. All right, all this stuff you can do back and forth with your partner at home.
Throwing game that you could play if you're lucky to have 2 people. You can play this with 3. Everybody has their own object. What we're going to try to do is we agree on a line. We're going to try to just knock over an object. If Mr. Valente knocks something over, he gives me an exercise to do. Now he's got to be nice, because if he knocks over an object and he gives me an exercise, I'm not going to forget what he tells me to do. But let's see how we play this game. He gets to throw first. He tosses, just misses. He's going to go retrieve his ball. When he's getting his ball, I'm getting ready to throw. Ready, Mr. Valente? I look, I step, throw. Oh. I retrieve.
Wait for your partner to get out of the way.
Oh. That got it on the rebound, it doesn't count. So we need to practice, obviously, right? So I'm going to remember, Mr. Zinski said step the opposite foot, point towards your target, and I just missed. I've got a feeling he's going to hit it. What do I have to do?
5 push-ups.
5 push-ups. You get done. We're doing 5 push-ups. 3, 4, and 5. All right? Make sure you're playing in a safe location. See you later. Go ahead.
All right, this is for you, Big Tree.
Go ahead.
You filming?
Yep.
First shot, first shot.